Hey everybody, Mo here, and today I'm bringing you guys the first Meta Monday of the new expansion, Beyond the Void or something like that. Or Void from Beyond, something like that. I don't really know what it's called. But first Meta Monday of the new expansion, so it's gonna be really exciting. We're gonna be looking at just the current patch, as far as data goes, so not the last 7 days, because technically within the last 7 days there's 2 non-patch days. Last Monday and Tuesday we didn't have the new cards. So I'm just going to do current patch, and then I was going to filter through Masters only data, but a couple of things is, one, this data is going to be extremely skewed because there's very few people in Masters, and there's literally less than 10,000 games total compared to the 240,000 games in all ranks. So there's a lot fewer games, and it's going to be really skewed because the people that are in Masters are probably really good if you got there this early. So it's going to be a mixture of players just skill diffing people, meaning that a lot of these win rates are going to be kind of higher than they should be, or they're going to be lower than they should be because you're only playing against other Masters players and good players. So it's just really not the best for data. Whenever you're just taking a very small percentile, using Masters only data is already taking a very small percentile, but this is a very, very small percentile of that normally small percentile of games. So instead, we're just gonna look at all ranks because, let's be honest, most of you guys watching this is probably gonna be in the all rank section when this video comes out today, anyways. Because I don't think you guys are one of the I think there's 100 Masters players total. If you are, cool, congratulations. You probably don't really need this then for this week, because honestly the best decks for week 1 is always just whatever the old decks are, plus Kaiser Demacia right now. So we're just going to go over all ranks, what the best decks look like, so you have an idea of what's doing well, what to play, and how to what to play against. So if you want to build a secret deck or get ready for it, then there you go. But before we get into the video, I wanted to remind you guys that 68% of the people that watch my videos aren't actually subscribed to me. So if you guys could do me a huge favor and click that subscribe button. Eric and I are bringing you guys a lot of content here soon. We upped all our graphics. We got a bunch of new content, working hard out here behind the scenes. So if you want to support us, you help me out with the YouTube algorithm, click the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. I have a lot of cool competitive content coming out here with the Meta Mondays, where now is getting time to start doing the deck guides, because we kind of had our week of fun. So this week, and probably going into next week, is where we're going to start deck guides. Also, I'm bringing starting a new YouTube series called, I don't actually know what it's called yet, but I think it's going to be called Sweaty Thursdays or something, where I basically give you the best tournament lineups, or the best I'm going to give you the 3 best decks for ladder for the weekend, and then I'm going to give you, in my opinion, the best lineup for Gauntlet. So the series will go out every Thursday on my channel at 9 a.m. Central Time, and then it will tell you if you're getting ready, I'm getting off of work this weekend, time to start hitting that ladder. Then it'll tell you what I think the best 3 decks are for ladder. And then also, if you're going to play Gauntlet, it'll give you an idea of what I think the best Gauntlet ladder is, or what the best Gauntlet lineup is, and kind of why. So if you're interested in that, more competitive content, something I don't think I've seen anyone else do this type of content for Gauntlet specifically, and the weekend specifically, and stuff like that, make sure to subscribe and get your notification, turn the bell on, get the notification. It'll be every Thursday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, so don't miss it. So that's gonna be it for the intro. Let's get into these top 8 most played decks. So we're gonna go over the top 8 most played deck, and then we're gonna look over a couple of the highest win rate decks, just to kind of get an idea of maybe there's a sleeper deck out there that's doing really good. Okay, so number 1, Azirellia. So Azirellia, really fucking good. The Domination, I call her Dominatrix. But Domination turns out really fucking good card. Who knew that if you threw a 0 level up condition onto a unit, it'd be good in a 0, and you threw it into Shurima? Wow, it's good in Azirellia. Who would have thought? Guess what? Blades cost 1 mana. Guess what? Sand Soldiers cost 1 mana. Wow. Not very surprising. It's actually the deck I've been using for ladder. I don't have my LoR pulled up, or I would have shown you my specific version. I think I can probably get it for you right here. But I've been playing Azirellia quite a bit on ladder here lately. It's really fucking good. It's one of the few decks that's actually really good into that's really good into Kaiser Demacia, because you kind of just like bounce their Kaiser over and over again, and you're just applying a shit ton of pressure. So these decks don't play like single combats or concerted strikes. Really, they're all just like all in on combo, so they don't really have a good way to disrupt you outside of like giving Kaiser Challenger to kill off Azir. But most of the time, you just like, okay, Homecoming, or they play Kaiser on 5, and you're just like, okay, Defiant Dance it, and then you just go about your day, planning to win the game. So it's really strong. Let me see if I have my list here for you guys I've been playing. So yeah, I played a lot of Kaiser Auction, quite a bit of Azirellia. This win rate's really low because I was playing a bad version, and I was scrimming it into some bad matchups. But yeah, it's like you see here, like it's been doing really well once I started to like understand the new version. Once I started to understand the new version, it's doing well, and then this down here is showing you the like Kaiser Auction. But yeah, so this is what my Azirellia looks like. I don't play any of the. I know this is kind of a tangent, but basically I'm trying to tell you guys that Field Musician's really bad. I think Field Musician's a really bad card. It's a really big bait card. And so this is what I've been playing. I've been on triple Defiant Dance. You could probably go up to 2 Homecoming, because it's just really good in the Kaiser matchup. So you go up to 2 Homecoming, and then yeah, that's basically it. Because this deck is really good because it just smokes. It smokes every bad like tier 9 deck people are trying to have fun with, and then it smokes Kaiser Demacia, which is like the best deck right now in Masters, considered one of the best decks at the moment. It's definitely the best new deck. Number 2 is that Kaiser Demacia deck. So this deck, you're gonna see a lot of different versions of this deck. You're gonna see Mono Kaiser. Was Mono Kaiser gonna pop up here in the top 8? It is. It's number 7. So we'll just go over both of them right now. And Kaiser Silver. Like, these are literally the top 3 decks right now. So even though it's technically second on the play rate at 4%, really it's like 4% plus another 2%. So that's 6 plus another 2%. So really it's like 8% play rate. So almost 1 in every 10 games you're gonna see a Kaiser deck. Either it's Kaiser. Oh, actually, and you have Kaiser Evelyn. So literally at our top 8 right now, half of them are Kaiser decks. Kaiser Evelyn, Kaiser Auction, Kaiser, Mono Kaiser, Kaiser Silver. I'll be honest with you, they all do the same fucking thing. It's just some of them are more refined. In my personal opinion, the most refined list is going to be Kaiser Auction. So Kaiser Auction is a mid-range style deck. The idea is just to outvalue your opponent with really good keywords, really good statted units. And yeah, it's usually like Quick Attack Challenger is a really good way to take over the game from your opponent. Quick Attack Challenger Scout is really good. The big combo here is you play. Oh, this isn't even playing. Weird. Yeah, definitely don't play this version. But basically, you play Valor, you play Blinding Assault, Quinn's champion spell. So you play Blinding Assault to 2 mana, summon 2/1 Valor with Scout Challenger. So you go play Kaiser on 5, play Valor, and then you give Kaiser Challenger Scout. Challenger Scout, and she already has Quick Attack built in. So now you just have this probably at that point going to be a 5/5. She's going to be leveled. So you have a 5/5 Scout Challenger Quick Attack unit that's also pinging the board for 4 every time she attacks. So, or pinging each unit 4 units for 1 damage each time you attack. So you turn 5, you basically win the game by just taking over board control. But that only works in mid-range matchups. Then the second best deck, in my opinion, second best Kaiser version is going to be this all-in combo style deck here. So basically you play triple Kaiser, triple Rite of Calling. So your odds of having Kaiser on 5 is insane. It plays Xerxai Hatchling, and a lot of you are thinking, why are you playing that shitty card? It gives you 2 positive keywords, right? So you play Xerxai Hatchling on turn 1, then you play Petricite Broadwing on turn 2, or you play Belvith. But you can play Petricite Broadwing into Hatchling. That's 4 out of the 6 needed to level up. Kaiser has Quick Attack. That's 5 out of the 6 needed. All you need to do now is play Green Fair Winder. You play any other Void Blaster, any keyword, any other card of your deck, and it's nuts. And see this here, this has the Blinding Assaults here. It plays Green Fang Warden. It plays this one doesn't play Genevieve because you're just much faster. And basically the idea is always to have leveled Kaiser on 5 and then give it Scout or Scout Challenge or something like that. Or even what's it called? Spell Shield or something like that on your Kaiser to take over. This version also is on triple Cataclysm, so even if your opponent tries to stun Kaiser, it doesn't matter. It's basically just super abusing your Kaiser, super abusing your leveled up Kaiser on 5 with attack token, and then being able to attack with it a lot with Cataclysm. So those, in my opinion, are the two best Kai'Sa decks. The other two are kind of just worse. Yeah, they're kind of just worse versions. We'll go over the non-Kai'Sa decks. I'll kind of give a general overview about the other two champions as well. So next is Katarina Yasuo, coming at 53% win rate. I'll let you guys know. I'll be the bad guy here in the LoR community. This deck is not good. Like, I'll be the bad guy that cuts down everyone's copium, but straight up, this deck is not good. The only time this deck is, like, appears to do things is when you have Windswept Helllock on 5. And then, even then, when you have Windswept Helllock on 5, you have to hope that your opponent can't kill a Katarina or a Yasuo. Really, mostly just Katarina. But yeah, if your opponent can actually kill, like, your champions, then you just, like, lose the game. Or if your opponent just kind of kills you before you start getting your, like, Windswept Helllock, you know, Yasuo lock, or your Helllock Katarina, you know, lock going on, then this deck is still just bad. Like, this deck is just really, really bad. Not really, really bad. It's definitely the best Yasuo deck we've ever had, but it's definitely not good. Like, I think this has like a 53% win rate. In Masters, I don't even know if it has a 50% win rate. It'll like barely have, yeah, it barely has a 50% win rate because people are just kind of like sticking it down. Like, look at like your top win rate is 62.9%. So like almost 63%. But that's like really bad when you look at like, oh, what are these top win rates? Oh, it's like all top 5 on this deck have higher win rates. Like, oh, Azirellia. It's like, oh, okay. So your top like 3 or top 2, if you want to get like super technical, have a higher win rate than that. And it's like your average win rate's a lot higher. It's like, oh, what about Kaiser Demacia? It's like, oh, look at that. All top 5 have higher win rate than that. Oh, Kaiser Auction. Oh, look at that. All top 5 have a higher win rate. So it's like, when the best player on this deck has only a 62.9% win rate, and then the next best is 48.5%, like, that's not very good. Like, look at this. Like, oh, like 4 out of the 5 are best than your like second best, you know? It's like, oh, the top 3 are better than yours. It's like, there's just so much, like, again, like the other top 3 is better than your top 1. It's just like not even comparable. Okay, Thralls, you're kind of a joke. But yeah, it's not good. Trust me. It's not a good deck. Like, play it because it's fun, and play it because this is the only week that it'll probably do anything, because everyone's playing bad decks, and have fun with it, and do you, and, you know, be the Mogwai follower you are. But I'll let you know the stats, both the top players playing it and playing against it, and the stats are not on your side. So yeah, do with that information what you will. Number 5, Anti-TF, 58% win rate. Anti-TF, the win rate's extremely high because I've said this a lot last season. I'll say it again. This deck is really bad, but it's really good into bad players. Noxus control in general historically has always been really good into 2 things: unrefined list, bad players. What is week 1 full of? Unrefined list and bad players, because everyone's rank is reset. So yeah, that's it's not very good. It's not a good deck. Nothing really changed. It has like an okay Kai'Sa matchup, but it's definitely not like the best Kai'Sa matchup. Like, I wouldn't call it a winning Kai'Sa matchup, but you definitely beat bad Kai'Sa players, but you'll lose to good Kai'Sa players. And that's just like the story of this deck. Like, Anti-TF is just like, oh, you'll beat bad players on this deck, but then like when you play against a good player on this deck, you'll probably lose. It's just like, it feels that way for like Winding Light, TF Nami, you know, Yordle Arms, Kai'Sa, stuff like that. Yeah. And then number 6, I think this is the last one in top 8. Yeah, last unique deck in top 8. Jhin Anti-Burn, baby. People love their burn decks. I don't know why this is one of the most played decks, but it is. I mean, I guess it's fine. Burn, or aggro in general, is really good into, you know, shitty decks and not good players week 1. And again, what's week 1 full of? Shitty decks and not good players. So, yeah, I mean, I understand why you would play it, but I don't even think it's the best aggro deck at the moment. So very cool. I mean, it has a fine win rate. It's a very interesting deck. But yeah, I think, yeah, 85%. Yeah, look at this. Look at this, and then tell me your stupid Yasuo deck is cool. Get out of here, man. Get out of here, man. Yasuo is so silly. But, Yeah, it's just an aggro deck week one. Not very impressive. Nothing really to take away here. So before we get into looking at the top best performers as far as like win rate goes, I wanted to touch on the other two champions because we see a lot of Kaiser here. I think it's very understandable that Kaiser Demacia is very good. Kaiser is very good. However, let's talk about Gwen and Evelyn. So Evelyn, horrendously bad. Evelyn is horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. So the entire package of Evelyn is just really bad. She relies on filling up the board with these 1/1 husks. And then if your opponent can actually kill one of the husks, then you just spend your mana on a 5/5 or a 0/5. That is a huge tempo loss and kind of just sits there while your opponent just kind of beats you down. Her package and not getting to play a second region is really, really bad and not worth playing from a competitive standpoint right now. That could change, obviously, and there are a couple decks that are pretty close to making Evelyn playable. Like, I think the closest is Evelyn Lucian, which, not just saying that because I put a video out on Evelyn Lucian yesterday, which you guys should all go watch, by the way. But I legitimately think Evelyn Lucian is probably the closest deck to making Evelyn playable. But it's mostly just, it has literally nothing to do with Evelyn other than just being able to play the Husk cards. Like, if you could just play the Husk cards, it would be so much better than having to play Evelyn as a champion and then not getting a second region. Like, if the Husk cards were just so happen to be in, like, Shadow Isles or Demacia, then, you know, Lucian, it would be called Lucian Husks. Lucian Husks would actually be, like, a very solid deck. But because you don't get actual spells and you don't get actual cards, deck bad. And then Gwen. Gwen is not nearly as bad as Evelyn, but she's not extremely impressive either. She has a couple okay decks, but she doesn't have very many good decks. She has a bunch of decks that seem like they could be tier 2. Basically, Gwen, at this point, statistically wise, it looks like she's just waiting for someone to figure her out. And then when someone does figure her out and someone does break her and she does have a breakout performance in a tier 1 deck, she will be really good. But at the moment, she's just a little bit too tricky for week 1, you know, shit decks. But give it a week or two, and then I think in 2 weeks, by 2 weeks from now, if there's not a tier 1 Gwen deck, then Gwen's probably just bad, and we just aren't going to have a good Gwen deck this season. But if we do have a good Gwen deck in the next 2 weeks, it'll be because it just needed time to refine. So it'll be interesting. Plus, I think we get a patch next week. I'm not sure if that's correct. I think we get a patch like next week or the week after that. So hopefully that helps her out. But we'll see. So far, from my understanding, the best looking Gwen decks to me have been like Gwen Spiders or just like Gwen aggro. Like aggro decks that just like play Gwen as a Doom Beast, basically. Like you just play 4-mana Doom Beast. Yeah, that's basically been the best like Gwen decks I've seen so far. But all right, that's it for all that. Let's get into the win rate. So, oh, that's lowest. How do I get highest? All right, highest win rate decks in the game. We'll just look at the top 3. Lux Alawi, Anti-TF, Azirellia. Okay, so again, take this with a grain of salt because, and then after that, it's literally all the best decks in the game. So a couple things we could take away from this. One, I've already said this 1,000 times. Good, like, any good deck from the last season will just beat any, like, shit deck from, you know, week 1. So that's why after this first, we'll talk about Lux Alawi and look at it for a minute because that's kind of new and interesting. But after that, it's literally, what is it? Oh, Anti-TF. Oh, Azirellia. Oh, look at this. Back to Widening Light, Jaysheimer, Burn. Like, oh, Bard Alawi, Thralls. Like, yeah, like, we literally have, like, 2 new decks in the entire top 10. You know, so it's like, and yes, like Bard Alawi is an old deck. Like it was played all last season. So there's like, pick any good old tier 1 deck, and there you go. You have like the best performing decks of this week. Shocker. Outside of, you know, Lux Alawi. So I assume people are playing Lux Alawi because of Riptide Sermon. So this still looks pretty bad. Like, I'll be honest with you, like the stats show it as being good. You know, 58% win rate. Could be good. I don't see, I mean, I can see why it could be good, for sure. That doesn't mean I think it's good. That doesn't mean it is good. Like, I don't think this would be better than, like, Jace Lux. But I could see it. Like, I don't know. It's cool, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. So there's that. I mean, the stats don't lie, I guess. There's the highest win rate in the game at the moment. So yeah, go try it out, Luxalawi. I'll have this deck list down in the description below. Let's see. It's probably just like, yeah, as I say, it's probably just like a few people that are just like nuts on it or something. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and I'll put this deck list down in the description below if any of you want to try out the Luxalawi. Maybe I'll try out Luxalawi. Fuck, you guys want to see me play this Luxalawi deck, try it out for you guys, make a video on it. Let me know down in the comments below. But that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed this Meta Monday. I'll be doing one every single Monday to give you guys an idea of, you know, what's being played in the meta, what to look out for, and the best secret performing decks. For those of you that don't know, I saw a couple decks on the up and up before they were actually, you know, super popular in that top 8 most played. Most notably, Red Viego. I found that deck, you know, made a video on it. I didn't create the deck or anything, but I saw in the stats that it was like the best performing stat deck. Tried it out. I called it trash. Tried it out, realized it was broken as fuck. You know, gets nerfed to that patch. So shows you it was really broken. Then I called out, you know, Anti-TF and Bard Demacia being extremely good. I called both of those out like a week before they got extremely popular. So yeah, a couple decks that I think this week, the sleeper decks, possibly Luxalawi. We're going to try it. We're going to make a video on it. Fuck it. You know, if that's what you guys want to see, you know, leave a comment down below. If there's a comment that gets, you know, 20 likes, I'll go ahead and I'll make a video on Luxalawi. Just make a comment called Luxalawi, go find it, and then like it. You know, and then after that, the other secret deck that I think is going to be really good is Lulu. It's going to be this Yordle Arms, Sneasel, or I call it Yordle Arms. Really, it's Sneezy Biggle Dust. I think this deck is secretly like really good. It's super underplayed, so I'll probably try this out too for ladder. But yeah, I think those are the two most sleeper decks that are going to pop up here. Is going to be Lulu, Sneasel Dust, and then, you know, possibly this Luxalawi, we'll see. But definitely the Sneasel Dust deck. So that's going to be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, let me know in the comments down below what decks you want to see, what types of videos you want to see. Again, Thursdays, 9 a.m., Sweaty Thursdays. I guess that's what we're calling it now, Sweaty Thursdays. So if you made it this far in the video, say Pantheon Keck W. I don't know. So that's it. I'll see you guys in the next video.